Hello, today I'm back with a Sezane try on. As you know, I was absolutely besotted with their new autumn collection and I decided to order some of the things that have really caught my eye, and I have some very unfiltered first impressions to share, as well as some revised opinions on some of the items that I thought initially I would be really drawn to from the lookbook. So I'll share that at the end. We're going to dive right into it. I will also have a corresponding blog post as well because I know how helpful that is with lots of photos as well as the exact item measurements of everything that I've tried on here, as Sezane don't have that information on their website. So we're going to start with the first item, which was probably the piece I was most excited about from the autumn collection, and it's the Fel Jacket or Fel Jacket. I ended up ordering the off-white version, which I think came out maybe a month before the autumn collection drop, and the reason why I went with this than the olive check, which was really the one that was on my wish list, was the composition. This has a composition of about 95% cotton, 5% elastane, whereas the tartan check was a wool polyester blend, and this is something that I encourage you to look at when you are flicking through the different color variations, is to keep an eye out on the composition as it can change. Now, I opted with my usual size AU8, French 36 or US 4, and I will have all my sizing info on screen. And I will say I immediately wished when I tried this on that I had gone one size up, because it is kind of a slim fit through the sleeves, and I feel like it's not something that I could easily layer over those thicker jumpers. Not that I think that you would have to. This is quite padded, it's quite thick and actually really warm on its own. I felt very toasty wearing this just over the top of a t-shirt, so I think you could get away with wearing this with just a long sleeve merino underneath. It does have the snap closures down the front, which I don't mind. I know some people are completely against them. I'm not bothered by that. And then it also has snap closures on the pockets too, which is great because you have that added layer or sense of security. All up, I think this is a really beautiful item, and yeah, size up if you are considering buying this one. If you have watched any of my previous Sezane videos, then you'll know I have sworn off any of their polyamide blend knitwear pieces, which comprises about 80% of their collection generally, and it's always so disappointing when I see a beautiful knitwear piece and I look at the composition and I think, okay, well, that's completely ruled it out. The reason being that I've not had the best experience in the past, plus I just don't think that there's any need for them to blend polyamide in there. It's usually included in the content mix to increase softness and also the durability of an item. So I was really excited when I saw that they've introduced 100% yak wool pieces for this season. A lot of their new knitwear styles are in yak wool, and actually there is a new iteration of, I think it's the Amiel jumper, which is probably my favorite out of all the knits that they do for a classic crew, but I just have not bought it because of the composition factor. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on and show you the next item, which is the Tommy vest. So this is 100% yak. It is in the most beautiful, soft, powdery vintage blue. I was just so drawn to this color. Blue is one of my favorites, especially for autumn winter. I just think it's so pretty, and many of my 10 item capsules on Substack actually have blue incorporated in it. Fun fact. This has really lovely little details. It has the cable design down the center, has a doubled over ribbed collar, also detail at the sleeve or the arm here and at the trim at the hem. The back is plain. I sized up to a medium just because I wanted it to be a little bit slouchy, but what I didn't anticipate was the fact that the armholes are going to be a little bit more dropped. So you do have quite a bit of openness here, and that is definitely a factor to be thinking about. I would recommend going with your true size, as I don't think that there is really that much to be gained from going up a size. My original intent in terms of how I wanted it to feel and fit didn't really execute in reality the way I expected. So I kind of wish I'd gone with my usual size small. I think they're bringing out other colors in this, which is really nice. If you're wondering how the yak wool feels, it reminds me a lot of the merino wool that Sezane uses in their collections. It has a very similar tactile quality and texture to it. It's not, you know, as soft as a cashmere piece, but it doesn't feel overly rough against the skin. However, if you are super sensitive, you may find this a little bit ticklish. I wouldn't think in an excessive way, but just something to flag and point out. I got a shoe, of course, the Melanie Poet. In terms of sizing, I went with my usual size, which is a US 9 in Sezane shoes, and they fit perfectly. And actually, these are a good candidate for those with wider feet. The leather has robustness to it, but it doesn't feel like it's going to cut into the foot. It actually feels like it's got quite a bit of malleability to it, and I didn't find that any of the stitching cut in, at least when I tried it on. Obviously, the real test is when you're wearing an item like this for an extended period of time. The low block heel is very nice and walkable. My only hesitation with these shoes is that they have the ankle strap, and I did take two different videos of me wearing these, one with a little mini skirt and then one with a pair of jeans which covers the ankle strap. And I will say that probably with the jeans it would be my preferred way to wear it. How I would wear these sort of shoes in the past would have been with a shorter skirt, because then that allows for a really nice long block to make sure that my legs don't look like they've been cut off, as that is really the risk when you're wearing an ankle strap shoe like this. So for example, I would never wear a shoe like this with a midi skirt because it's going to create too many visual breaks in the lower half of your leg and actually visually stunt the length of your leg. Whereas if you're wearing them with a nice long jean that is high-waisted, where you've actually concealed that ankle strap, your legs are going to look really, really long. So just something to bear in mind. I think these are really, really beautiful. I don't know if the patent would be quite as comfortable as these, but if you're looking at the silver, a winner. These have definitely solidified in my mind the fact that I want to have a silver shoe in my wardrobe. I just don't know if these are the ones. Please let me know. Let's discuss in the comments. Item number 4 is the Richie Jacket. Now again, this is not a new style for Sezane. However, they've brought it out in a new color, this beautiful khaki army green hue. This is an oversized bomber jacket. It also comes in a soft baby pink if you want to kind of play with that friction and tension that color adds in an unexpected way. This is a nylon piece, so it is polyester, and it is incredibly thick and meaty. Like, this is a big jacket. It is really warm. It has this nice kind of oversized silhouette that hangs down just under the bum. I actually did size up to a 10 because that was my intention for the styling, the way that I want it to look on me, and I'm not sure if the 8 would have cut off a little bit higher, as there can be slight differences in the length of items between two sizes, though I do that this does have a bit too much width for me across the chest. I don't know, tell me what you think in the cutaways, but it's just a very, very cool jacket, and to me it feels really, really nice and well made, like fully lined. It has the snaps on the pockets as well for that additional element of security to keep your belongings nice and safe in there. Has a zip up closure down the center with the snap buttons on the front, and then this lovely ribbed collar as well around the neckline. If I'm honest though, I just don't know if I'm a bomber jacket girl, and as beautiful as this is, I don't think that it's something that I would be reaching for that frequently. I have other jackets that I probably favor over this one in terms of the overall vibe, the feeling, the mood that I'm trying to get out of my outfits and out of my wardrobe. But I think that this is really great if you are someone who does love this sort of style, and the way it cocoons at the back, just chef's kiss. The Aline Skirt was another one of my favorites from Sezane's first drop for autumn. It is this beautiful kind of leopard print brocade skirt in a midi length with a slit down the center. The slit actually doesn't really come up too high, so it doesn't feel too revealing. It actually feels reasonably modest, and I think this is the sort of style you could wear to the office with a pair of black tights and boots, as that's going to give you that extra coverage on the legs. Now, I was 100% convinced when I saw this on the website that it was not going to fit me right at all. I am pear-shaped, which means that I carry a lot more of my weight around my hips and upper thigh area, really around my bum. So quite often items like this, which are in a really rigid fabric, will end up being too tight on the hip and then too loose on the waist. And I'm actually really pleased to report back that this one is neither of those things on me. It actually fits perfectly. I went with my usual size AU8, US4, and I've got just a little bit of room at the waist, so I would recommend sticking true to size. If you are someone who is quite narrow through the hip, you may want to try the 2 sizes just in case this is a little bit too roomy for you. It's also lined as well, which I really appreciate. It's all these little details I think that make these things feel more special, more elevated, and also just something that I'd be happy to pay those Sezane prices for. I think my only thing is I wish that this came in a maxi length or even just a little mini, and I'm kind of hanging out to see if they do this print in any other designs. I really don't like the cut of the trousers that they've done in this fabrication, and I also don't think this would be very comfortable to wear because there is no give to the fabric, and I don't love the cut of the jacket either because it's just a little bit too cropped for me. So I'm hoping they come through with another skirt design or even just a little short too. I think that could be very sweet, but this is just, it is stunning. And I think if you are someone who's looking for a way to inject some personality, especially into their workwear outfits, this is a great way to do it. This next item I ordered as a potential replacement for my grey oversized wool blazer from Aline. I had to sell it because it was just too small for me in the end, and I also thought that it would be a good opportunity to try and find a jacket that would be a nice match for my facade pattern wool trousers that I bought last year in the Black Friday sales. So when I spotted that they'd done their Michelle blazer, which is an iconic style for the brand, in this beautiful textured grey wool, I thought that this could be a really good contender. Now, I will say straight off the bat, as soon as I pulled it out of the box, I could see the texture. It feels really textured. This is absolutely not a soft wool jacket at all, and so it's a blessing that it is lined. It has that lovely little polka dot lining that Sezane put in a lot of their pieces. So the cut of this, the fit of it, all really, really nice. I like that it's a little bit longer. It's almost a boyfriend style, but it doesn't feel like it's too relaxed or too generously cut anywhere. I would stick with your usual size for this one. It's really, really comfortable on as well. It looks really nice when you've worn it buttoned up. However, it is just a little bit too heavy and too thick for me. This has quite a bit of rigidity to the fabrication. It's just the weight of the wool and also the weave of it and the actual wool that they've chosen. It is very kind of meaty, robust. It feels really kind of thick and heavyweight. Beautiful for those who live in really, really cold climates and need or crave that thicker blazer. This is a really, really good option for you, especially if you're not too sensitive when it comes to the touch and feel of wool. Also, the other thing I realized is that I definitely want something that has a plain back button instead of these lovely tortoise buttons that Sezane put on a lot of their outerwear pieces. I think that these buttons are really charming and I love when they add them to their knitwear pieces in particular, but on a tailored piece like this, it does feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more casual, whereas I really want that kind of sharp element from my suiting. But I think this is really stunning and definitely one of the better value for money Michelle blazers that they do. Anytime they have one of their blazers in 100% wool, it is a winner. The final item that I added to cart is a real wild card for me because it is incredibly bright and vibrant, and you've been able to see it peeking out here. And the fact that I was so drawn to this color in the lookbook may have been a bit of a hint, but it's these beautiful red wool blend trousers. So these are called the Aldo pant and they're a super high rise wide leg trouser, super long through the leg too. So if you're a tall girl, these are going to be perfect. If you are shorter or you're like me with a shorter length inseam, then you will need to get them tailored. They have the nice little pockets at the front. There's pinched center seam down the front, and then they have some little pockets at the back. The interior is not lined, but they feel really comfortable against the skin. I mean, this fabric is so thick and weighty. It feels really, really robust, and these would be a perfect autumn weight pant that you could layer with some heat tech in the winter time if it gets especially cold where you live. I would say the only detail that I both love and dislike is the belt. So one, I love the belt because it feels really seamless and it just feels a little bit more elevated and special, this extra little detail on the pant. I don't love that the actual buckle here is in sort of a perspex. I wish that it was in a metal. However, I'm guessing that this is probably going to fare better over time because it's not going to tarnish. So pros and cons, but I think that is so cute and it kind of means that you can adjust the fit ever so slightly by cinching it in a bit more. I went with my usual size 808 and they're a perfect fit. They have a little bit of room at the waist, which is great because you can tuck in a sweater. I have thought that one of my favorite pieces from the collection would actually be a red pair of trousers. And actually, now I do want to kind of run through some of my thoughts now that the collection is live, some of the things that I had said in my lookbook review. Now I want to revise ever so slightly because fabric composition for me is a huge part of whether or not I am going to buy an item, that and also price and whether it's going to fit into my lifestyle and into my wardrobe. But the composition is probably up there in terms of what I'm considering when I am adding new items to my wardrobe. So just going to use my phone here to reference. So number one, the Sadie dress. I didn't order this because once I got a better look at the silhouette, I realized it was all wrong for me. The length of it was going to be a little bit awkward, and also I didn't think this would be the most flattering for my silhouette. And I think it's really important when you are looking at things is to think beyond whether you like it and actually whether it is the sort of silhouette and style that you gravitate towards naturally when you have those sorts of items in your wardrobe. I think the Victor coat is such a gem. I would 100% recommend this over and over again. Someone actually left a comment on that video saying that they bought it and they absolutely love it. So that is a big tick. The color is just phenomenal, honestly. That bright red, gorgeous. So would 100% go for that. I was really not surprised to see that that navy vest, which I forget the name of it, maybe was it Andrew, the wool vest, it dropped just this week been, and that sold out immediately, almost in the same way that the Nicia dress sold out last autumn winter. I think that looks like such a cool layering piece. Again, thrilled to see that it's 100% wool, and it looks like the same wool as the Nicia dress, so if you manage to get your hands on it, lucky you. Then going down to the Andrew coat, I love the look of, and I still stand by that. However, when I saw that it's a 25% polyamide blend, I think you can do better for that price point, so I would recommend just looking at one of their other coats. I was actually thrilled when I saw that the Nate coat, which is that herringbone scarf coat, the scarf is detachable. They don't show you what the jacket looks like without the scarf, but I'm assuming that it's just sort of a standard collarless design, so it's going to be quite chic and minimal, and that one I would consider, though the price is really high, but it's 100% wool, so I am always happy to spend a little bit more on quality outerwear. I mentioned that there are all these new 100% yak wool pieces on the website. So one is the Maurice jumper, which if I didn't already have a black sweater, I would probably be considering buying this one because it looks like it's a really good silhouette, and this is a style that I think is sort of an alternative to the Amiel jumper, and I'm really hoping that they bring it out in other colors. I would love to get a color in this one, maybe in a red to match my Aldo trousers. Then the Kittery dress, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one, but that is also 100% yak, and to me this is actually really just a long cardigan, so if you love that kind of a look, I think this would be a great option for you. Also, the Paulette low boots in the patent khaki, I mean, oh, those are just so chic. The price is pretty much on par with all of their other shoes, and I would say the quality of Sezane's footwear is really good across the board, and I have had reasonable success with their patent. I've got the Paula babies and they're pretty comfortable on me, so I think you'll be okay if you have wide feet. If you've got average or narrow feet, I don't think you'll have any issues. One other item that I've not really heard anyone talking about is the Emily cardigan. It comes in mottled beige, but I think also now it's just been released in an ecru. This is basically a merino knitted shirt, and just think you can wear this open. I have a very similar item from Quince, which I've got in like light grey and also in black, and it is just so comfortable and just a really easy lightweight outerwear option, so I did just want to throw that one out there, as it's again one of those styles that I've not really heard anyone mention. Anyway, that wraps up this try on. I really want to know what you think and what you have bought from the collection, if you were blown away or if you felt a little bit let down. What would you be keeping out of these items that I ordered? Please let me know down in the comment section below. If you've got any other questions, please feel free to shout out, and don't forget you can check my website for all of those exact measurements if you've been eyeing any of these pieces up. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, my fellow Sezane lovers. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you soon. Bye!